we go, Facebook. Another self-love sermon. How are we doing? How are we doing, YouTube? How are we doing on the replay? Thanks for listening on SoundCloud. Oh, I gotta make sure I go live on the right Instagram. As you all know, I switched it up a couple weeks ago, so now I go live on my personal page. Once you're here, let me know. Who is joining me? Tonight we're going to talk about creativity and self-care. I'm excited. Who's with me? We're going to play tonight. We're going to do some second chakra activation. We're going to do some guided meditation. Hi, Vera. Welcome. How are you, dear one? I'm so glad to see you. Who is joining me on Facebook? I've got 2 joiners. Who is ready to talk about creativity and self-care? Hi, Bethany. Welcome. Hi, Emily. Hi. How are you doing, dear? So good to see you. I miss you. How is it going? Hi, Brenna. So many dear ones joining tonight. Thank you for being here, for spending 1 hour of your day with me, 1 hour of your week, talking about something so near and dear to my heart always, which is self-love, self-compassion, self-care. And tonight specifically, I really want to talk about creativity, because I think, creativity is self-care. And I know Bethany knows what I'm talking about, right? The creative process, the artistic process. It can be a meditative state. Like, it can be that connection to your sacred, your divine, however you define that for yourself. And it just feels good. It's a form of manifestation, which I talk about a lot. Right? If you're creating a project, if you're bringing an idea forth in the world, or if you're purely focused on the artistic process as your meditation. Hi, Micah, welcome. And for anyone who doesn't know, this is Self-Love Sermons. I am here every Tuesday at this time, 8 p.m. Eastern. So blessed to be here with all of you, our little growing community. I would ask you all to post tonight, post a picture of yourself at Self-Love Sermon, post a picture of yourself meditating and tag me, tag Luminous Leanings, tag Ellen Gilbert Coaching or Ellen S. Gilbert on Instagram, and invite your friends. Tell them to come next week. We really want to get this message of self-compassion and self-care out into the world. And if anyone feels like they want to reciprocate my energy that I am giving tonight, feel free to make a donation here at luminousleanings.com. And you can also sign up for email reminders and get the replay always at luminousleanings.com. You can listen to it like a podcast. It's so much fun. We've done several of these now, and I have really enjoyed the community feel that we've been able to co-create and nurture together, as well as just, it goes by so fast, but 1 hour of your week focused on self-care, that's pretty radical, guys. Like, to actually take a pause and check in with yourself, it's one of the most radical things you can do. I'd also encourage you to share this video now. Share it on Facebook or in your Instagram stories. Let people know, like, hey, you can still join us. We're talking about creativity and self-care tonight. And specifically, I wanted to talk about this because I have a free mini retreat coming up in just a little under 3 weeks on Saturday, September 26th at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. It's a 2-hour free offering, totally free. All you have to do is go and register here I'm going to share the link in the Facebook chat, or if you're on Instagram, just go to luminousleanings.com, and I have an events uh, link on my menu, my top menu, and you can always find like whatever weird thing I'm offering next. I'm really hoping to offer more free retreats, free webinars, free classes, anything to get the word out about self-care and self-love, which I am just obsessed with. And in this retreat, Clear and Grounded, it's called, we're going to spend 2 hours together. I know many of you are coming, and I'm so grateful. We're going to spend 2 hours together engaging in this question of how can I care for myself more in order to become a magnet for my creative muse. We all have a creative muse, guys. Like whether it's your goddess or your archetype, or if you just see it as your intuition, or maybe it's your like sacred source, of the divine symbol, however you view it, like you have a muse. And whether you consider yourself an artist or not, you can invite that muse in to just come hang out with you. And how do we do it? It's by caring for ourselves and by really intending with an awake heart to make meaning out of life's experiences, to process in this way. Maybe it's to make a product that we share with the world, maybe not. It can be the process or the product or both. But it's really about letting go and having fun, and that's all that we're going to talk about tonight and explore together. So, dear ones, I will begin by lighting the candle. I got this big old candle. It's called Peace and Tranquility. Who couldn't use a little more of that? Let me grab my matches. I invite you to light a candle as well. If you're joining, hold a little space in the form of this flame or maybe some incense, whatever you want to burn. Or maybe you're diffusing some essential oil. We're going to be working with the second chakra tonight. So if you do have anything like jasmine or sandalwood or sweet orange, those are all good things to smell related to the second chakra to help activate this creative center in our bodies. Of course, it's all symbolic, so just let go, light whatever you got. Don't worry about it. Oh, and if you hear crazy wind, I don't know if y'all can hear this. We are having an epic windstorm right outside my window right now. Oh, you can see it reflecting in my glasses, the candle. In New Mexico, we are experiencing very, very high winds. So you might hear some branches breaking. I just asked John, I was like, are we safe? He was like, yeah, there aren't tornadoes here. I was like, oh, okay, good. Because I grew up in Kentucky and we had hella tornadoes. So anywho, dealing with the wind. It's kind of awesome though. I'm calling it the winds of change, and I'm trying to help me feel more woo-woo and just closer to those thin veil times of October, which we're entering into, like Samhain season or Halloween, a time of thin veils between our world and the ancestral world. That's sort of what I'm using this wind for in my own spiritual wellness journey right now, which we're going to talk about. Okay. So first question, opening question of the night. When was the last time you made something? And I mean not work related. When was the last time you made something for you, for fun? Maybe you did end up giving it to someone, maybe not, but when was the last time you made something? I would love to hear, dear ones. Hi, Amy, welcome. So glad you're here. We're talking about creativity and self-care. Hi, Gabe. So, yeah, when's the last time you made something, dear ones? Made something for you? I mean, I'm creating this retreat for creativity and self-care, and I've been really challenged to ask myself that question because I think we can get really caught up in always using our creativity for our businesses, for our jobs, to make money. We put that pressure on them like, oh, for this to be a worthy pastime, I need to extract money from it. And Liz Gilbert says like that will kill creativity, you know. That can kill creativity, I should say. She also in her book Big Magic, which I'm going to talk about a lot because it's one of my favorites. Anyone else read Big Magic out there? Um in her book she also like lays out steps for living a creative life and making money from it if that's a road you want to go down. Emily says, I can't remember the last time, and I need that in my life. Yes, dear one. What are you going to make next? We're going to throw out some ideas tonight of some different ways. Amy made a vision board. It was fun. We're doing vision boards in my new group coaching program right now called Womanifest. And it's so much fun. I love vision boards. Micah says, my sticker chart a few weeks ago. Yes, holding yourself accountable with beautiful stickers. I love that. Vero says, I cooked a great meal a month ago and then I got sick. Oh no. She says, but just me. I'm so sorry, Vero. That is like so tragic. I hope you return to the kitchen soon. Brenna says, does rearranging my altar count? I also painted several months ago. I want to do it again soon. Yes, altars totally count. I've got altars like all over my house. And that's a great way to honor your muses, attract your muses. And it is a creative expression in and of itself. I was going to say ritual as well. We did an awesome Pisces full moon ritual together last week. And that was like totally creative, dear ones. Yeah, Emily says, all the Gilbert girls giving me wonderful guidance. I'm so glad you read Big Magic. Yeah, I wish she was my relative, but Liz Gilbert, alas, no relation. But she is one of my favorites. Thank you all for sharing the last things you created. And I will share that for me, I count this. I had a dance party about an hour ago in my office. I was feeling like super low energy and I was like, what can I do? I need to move my body. I need to do something to wake up. And, I put on some Lizzo and I just broke it down, y'all. Like it was super fun. Micah says, oh, if ritual counts, it was more recent. Yes, I know it was. Ritual definitely counts. I love that. Yes, Amy, the book is called Big Magic and it's by Liz Gilbert or Elizabeth Gilbert. Yeah. All right. So we're going to kick it off right away with a meditation, a little visualization for you. Just getting my screens organized so I can see my notes if you're wondering what the heck I am doing. Okay. So let's just come to stillness. Hopefully you've lit your candle. You're ready to get grounded. The name of my mini retreat coming up is Clear and Grounded. And we're going to work with all the chakras in this meditation. But where that name comes from, the grounded is the root chakra, grounding into the earth. Taking time to hold space and pause is essential for creativity. And then clear is activating all the way up, all of them, but the crown chakra, right? Clearing that sacred channel so that divine inspiration can really come into this vessel of our body and our intuition and our imagination. So that's sort of the premise behind the name of my free retreat, Clear and Grounded, coming up on September 26th. And in this opening visualization, we're going to work with all of the chakras. So if you don't know, chakras are the 7 energy centers of the body running along the central meridian, and I'll walk you through each one as we go, dear one. So go ahead and come to stillness. Find a position that's comfortable for you. Take a few deep breaths in and out to ground at your own pace. Just come to stillness, settling in, feeling the weight of your body, heaviness of the legs, feeling where the feet make contact with the earth. The wind is really picking up. Continuing to breathe. Just be aware of your body sitting here breathing. Can you feel the energy of others who have gathered here live or in the replay, coming to this circle of community? Honoring the intention of us all. Beginning with the root chakra, right at the base of the spine, where your seat makes contact with whatever's below it, which makes contact with the earth. Breathing in, draw up the energy from the earth. You can imagine it growing like tree roots or tree branches down into the earth from this point. Connecting into Mama Earth, your first home. Connecting to the desire to simply be here now. Your roots and branches grow strong, like a big redwood tree. On every breath in, you feel more of the earth energy nourishing you. Connecting your roots deep down into the earth. You're going to draw up from the core of the earth some of the creative magic. Perhaps seeing this magic as a white light drawing up through the core of the earth, through the roots, connecting into your root chakra. And growing your awareness up, up, up into the second chakra, the sacral chakra, at the bowl of your pelvis, your womb, the space between your hips, the space in front of the lower back, your sacrum. The bowl begins to fill with this white light as you continue to breathe and ground and fill from the earth's core this creative magic. Filling the bowl as you breathe like a liquid, glowing, vibrant. And as you continue to grow your awareness up, up, up into your solar plexus chakra, the space between your belly button and your rib cage, your gut knowing, your third chakra. Imagine this silky white light filling up this gut area. Associated with your inner power, your ego, self-actualization, self-knowledge. Sitting up a little taller to allow the magic to fill this third chakra. Continuing to breathe, guiding your awareness up, up, up into the heart chakra, the space between the lungs, the chest, the entire heart area, all the way through to the back body. Your beautiful heart, the seat of your emotions, part of you that is boundless and capable of loving the entire world. Breathe in, draw this silky white magic up from the solar plexus, filling the heart space. Does it alchemize here? What shape does it take? What sensations are different? Continuing to grow your awareness up, up, up into the throat chakra, the space at the clavicle, the base of the throat, filling the throat completely. Feeling a warmth there, the seat of your communication power, your ability to express yourself. So important for creativity. As you breathe in, the white earth magic rises and fills the throat area, swirling and sparkling, almost full body awareness now. So you're up to the fifth chakra. Continuing to breathe, sending your awareness up, up, up into the third eye chakra, dear ones. The place between the eyebrows, above the nose, into the center of the head. Feeling a warmth and a pulsation there. You can even turn your eyes inward as they are closed to focus on this point. The seat of your intuition. You must trust your intuition to create. You must open your third eye to see the art that exists all around us. Breathing in, the white magic continues to grow upward, filling this space with awareness and breath and sensation. And finally, Sending your awareness up, up, up into your crown chakra, opening the point at the very tip top of your head. Feeling almost like a cord from the base of your root chakra all the way up to the tip of your head, pulling you upward. This is where your humanity meets your divinity. This is that sacred portal where you get to connect with your muses, with divine inspiration. This is the channel. This is your tractor beam. Continuing to breathe, let the white earth energy fill your head and the crown of your head, creating a buzzing sensation there. Blessing this point of your body. Anointing yourself with worthiness, with receptivity for whatever ideas and creations desire to come through this unique expression of you. Breathing. Sensing the balance between all 7 chakras. The support of the earth below you in all her creative energy. The support of the divine above you, with all of the muses and ideas just waiting for a vessel through which to be manifest and born into this world. Your third eye open. Your throat chakra activated, ready to express yourself. Your heart open wide, ready to serve the world with your creativity. Your ego in check, ready to take a back seat as the art comes through. And your sacrum, the place where all divine feminine creativity is born, activated, balanced, ready. Take one final deep breath in through all 7 chakras and let it go. Great job. Sitting here with your eyes closed, bring your hands to heart center. I invite you to just ask the question, what will I bring forth? Just wait and see if anything comes through. Could be an idea, a piece of art, a message, a feeling. Bowing with gratitude to it. And when you're ready, dear ones, open your eyes. Welcome back. How was that? Did anything come through? I would love to hear anything waiting to be created. You know, Liz Gilbert describes inspiration as these like souls swimming about in our universe that are just looking for the right vessel to come through. And she says, like, literally, if you are not the right vessel, if you're not caring for yourself or structuring your time to bring it out and to bring it about, then it will find another vessel. It has like its own volition, its own agenda to be made manifest. So when inspiration strikes, we can think of it as this separate being that chooses us, that lands on us like a seed that wants to be planted. Micah says the main thing that came through was the word truth. Ooh, that's a good word, dear one. What a lovely thing to be entrusted with. That's really nice. So we're going to explore this relationship between creativity and self-care specifically tonight. So it's really reciprocal, isn't it? Like the more you care for yourself, like I said, the more art is going to come through you. The more inspiration and the better art you will produce, you know? And then on the other side of the coin, you can infuse your self-care practice with creativity, which I have found makes it more meaningful, more interesting, and more nourishing for yourself. So I'd love to hear from you, dear ones. Why does creativity matter? Emily, you said that you need more of it in your life. How do you know? And like, what about it matters to you? I would love to hear. You know, for me, creativity is vital for personal growth. Like, it helps you make meaning of your life, the good and the bad, right? So creating rituals, which we've done here together, you can create rituals for grief and loss, to release, to let go, and to hold space. You can also create rituals for really positive, big life moments. I mean, a wedding is a ritual. You can have a birth ritual. These are all pieces of creativity. It's also important for personal growth because when you produce something beautiful, you can look at it and say, like, wow, like, I must have some goodness in me to have created this thing. And that assumes you can step outside of the perfectionist bubble for a moment to just observe, like, maybe my ego had nothing to do with this. Maybe this was just me being able to be a good vessel for this beautiful thing to come through. I think it's also like having that spiritual experience, which is really that creative process. Like when you let go in the creative process, it is a spiritual experience. It is a meditation. Like my husband doesn't meditate, but he always says, like, he's a brewer, and he says to me, like, brewing beer is meditative. And I used to be like, no, like, that's not meditation. And get all like up in arms about it. But then I realized, you know, you can live your life as a meditation. When I'm cooking a really in-depth meal, that becomes meditative. You lose yourself in it a bit. And you also become really focused. It's a really magical moment, you know? And that's how, it's also about letting go of the ego, letting go of control. You're just sort of, it's just happening through you. You know, you really have to be wild and untamed in order to make art. Like, art is messy. So it kind of breaks all of these good girl boundaries and borders we've talked about. It disrupts, of course, the capitalistic, patriarchal system we live in. Like, big time, it's radical. You know? And then you're expressing yourself. So that's also, you're making meaning, you're processing. Brenna says creativity is expression and joy. It is freedom. Oh, yes. Micah says making the internal external, a way to communicate and make sense of things, and an expression of gratitude. I can create something beautiful with what I already have. Oh, I love that. So good. So Liz Gilbert says in Big Magic, which I've already told you is one of my favorite books, she says, you can clear out whatever obstacles are preventing you from living your most creative life with the simple understanding that whatever is bad for you is probably also bad for your work. Whatever is bad for you is also bad for your work. It's so true, dear ones. And if you really care about your work, if you're a good little capitalist, whatever your work may be, whatever your soul's work, whatever that vocation, that calling really is to you, if you want to make it good and you want to make it impactful, you better take care of yourself. So that's why I love her, and that's why I love that book. Because these two things they're linked. Self-care and creativity are linked, dear ones. You know? And I think if you sit in meditation long enough, or if get clear in whatever way you get clear, and ground in whatever way you ground, images and visions are going to come through. Like, don't shrug these off. You know, start to really get curious of what's coming to you in your silent meditations. Not so much your guided ones, but especially the silent ones. What's coming through in your dreams, in your daydreams, which of course you have to allow space for. You can't be filling up every moment with a podcast. I mean, our brains love to feel like they're learning, but we don't retain a lot of this. So give yourself space. That is so key. And start to pay attention, like what visions are coming through. Get curious, you know. These are intuitive nudges and divine inspiration. And they want to be brought forth by you. And only you can determine like what's good, what's worthy, what you want to devote your precious time and energy to. I would just invite you to start getting curious, you know. And if you don't believe you're an artist, then find another word. Creatrix, creator, just a creative being. Like, what lights you up? When you were little, what did you love to do? You know, maybe it's your sense of fashion, how you dress. Maybe it's how you decorate your home. Like, there are so many ways to be creative. Let's not get stuck on like one definition of what being an artist is. So I also love this coach named Claire Baker, and I just took her course. It's called Wild, Well, and Creative. And she says, no matter how shiny our intentions, if we're not really looking after ourselves, we'll never unlock our full creative potential. Let's be clear, we're not talking about green smoothies or fitness. We're talking about mental, emotional, and spiritual wellness too. So that really got me thinking, like, creativity is spiritual wellness in my view. You know, if many of us are like raised in the church, that doesn't really teach us spiritual wellness in my opinion, in my experience. Spiritual wellness is being able to sit in awe of nature, to have that sense of wonder at something beautiful. Worship means to give worth. Like, what do you give worth to? You know, it's not about what you believe. It's not about what you put your faith in. It's about what you give worth to. Like, this is spiritual wellness. It's keeping your spirit well. You know, it's keeping your emotions clear and honest, and holding space and having resilience. Spiritual wellness is different for everyone. It's really subtle and so personal. I'm wondering how you would define it, spiritual wellness. I think it's so fascinating. And the chakra clearing meditation we just did is an act of spiritual wellness. Absolutely. So yes, working with the chakras is spiritual wellness. Some people work with crystals, herbs, essential oils, different mantras, you know, what we might call the woo-woo, the new age. It's different for everyone. You know, I think of all these things as metaphors that just help me to connect to my spirit, my divine channel, that goddess energy. And this whole idea that the divine, like, creative ideas swimming about out there want to find a vessel, they want to be attracted to the human that's going to bring them forth. It's really similar to these ideas about manifestation, you know? Like, you have to take care of yourself. You have to have fun and play in order to attract that universal attention. You have to be specific. It's really, really similar. So look back at my blog posts on Will Manifestation. I've got a whole group coaching program I'm launching right now called Will Manifest, and there's going to be a lot more on this to come. But it's very similar, I think. Like, getting clear on our intuition and being able to trust it is a lot like attracting that sacred creative muse, if you will, you know? And one in particular, owning your pleasure, being brave enough to feel good, is a really good way to attract your muse. So I drew this card today from The Universe Has Your Back card deck. If any of you haven't read The Universe Has Your Back by Gabby Bernstein, it is such a good, light, easy entry point into A Course in Miracles, and really good, just basic law of attraction education, but in a format that's like really fun and easy to read. And she has a card deck. And so the card I drew says, the universe works fast when I'm having fun. And I loved that I drew that today because I knew I was going to talk about this. And I've been feeling really heavy lately, you know? The whole point of me starting Luminous Leanings was to help people lean toward the light, to help myself. I mean, every coach is the coach of that they need the most, you know? Because when I'm feeling heavy, it's so hard to be light. When you're having a bad day, it's so hard to be positive. And I'm not talking about forced or toxic positivity. Like, hell no, that shit is really bad and dangerous. We need to hold space and have resilience in our uncomfortable emotions. And art can be a great way to make meaning of that. But at the same time, you know, you can bring fun, you can bring this medicine sometimes, maybe not all the time. You can bring this medicine of fun and play into your self-care, or just an attitude into your life. And like, just get creative about it. Like, how are you going to bring fun and play into your life? Like, I asked that question, what did you do when you were a little kid? And I'd love to hear if anyone wants to share. Like, my favorite thing ever was drawing with sidewalk chalk. Like, I freaking loved it. I would draw like mandalas and just like write, you know, typography, like beautiful quotes and like words that I loved. I mean, I did this like well into college. I love chalk. And then it just like washes away with the rain, and then you have a blank slate again. I loved blowing bubbles. I still love blowing bubbles. I loved hula hooping. I loved just getting new school supplies, art supplies, just covering the table in art supplies. And I look back on those days and I'm like, I didn't let anything hold me back, you know? There wasn't this sense of like, is it going to be perfect? There wasn't this sense of what is the finished product going to look like? Or like, what am I going to do with this? You know, will I want to display it or give it to someone? It was just like, I was creating to create, you know? And I think that's where the self-care really happens. That's where the magic really happens. So I'm going to talk about some ideas for how we can do this, how we can bring this energy of fun and creativity into our self-care. And if it helps, you can schedule it in. There are certain things you could do every morning as part of your regular morning self-care, or you can block off one day a week, or even just one day a month, but schedule it in. It might sound a little forced to do this, but I think our muses want us to set the table for them. You know, pour the tea, sit down, invite them in, hold space for them, and they respond. They respond when you schedule this time. The other thing I wanted to mention before we dive into the practices is energy. So you have to tend to your physical energy first. If you're not sleeping enough, if you're not getting proper nutrition, if your physical energy is out of whack, it's going to be really hard to contact your spiritual energy. And your spiritual energy is what's required for creativity. Absolutely. I mean, if you're a dancer, if you're using your body, and of course, across all of these, physical, mental, emotional energy is at play. But to access that spiritual energy, we really need to have everything in alignment. We have to be taking care of ourselves. Because if you've got like kids running around, and you're completely frazzled and not caring for yourself, then how are you going to expect to like sit down and do some watercolors? I mean, it requires these things to be in alignment. So that's just a note on that. So some ideas I have. I already mentioned I had a dance party earlier today. It was really fun. I think I'm going to have another self-love dance party. I had one a few months ago after the How Much Can You Love Yourself challenge, and it was so much fun. I loved it. It's just a chance to put on some really fun music and just dance your ass off like no one is watching, because all anyone cares about is how they look. So it was really a chance for us to collectively be vulnerable and courageous and creative together. So I urge you to do this. Like if you're feeling low or a bit tired in the middle of the day, you've already had 2 cups of coffee, you're like, I need to wake up. Just blast the music. You can FaceTime your best friend and ask them to join you, or you can do this on your own. I absolutely love it. It's my go-to creative self-care practice. Another one is to bust out your art supplies. Just, in fact, try to keep them really close by. Like I've got all mine right here on my shelf. And every morning, many of you know, I journal 10 minutes of morning pages, just free write. Sometimes I have a prompt, sometimes I don't. And sometimes you can color around the edges, and you can, pull out the coloring pencils, or you can sketch a mandala. And if you don't know what that is, Google it, Mandala. And it's basically like a circle. Sometimes they're really geometric and precise. If that's your thing, you can also just color anything in the circle that you want. Anything that aligns with your intention for the day, with your mood for the day, with what you're hoping to manifest. You can bust out the watercolors. Some people challenge themselves to do like 30 days of mandala creation in the morning. And you can find examples of this on Instagram or on Pinterest. It's really fun, actually. I love doing it. And it's interesting to see what comes through, but it's really meditative. You can also like calligraphy. Some people are really good. Some people suck, but they do it anyway. So just do it. Like you don't have to show anyone. This is really about your creative process. So I have watercolor paintbrushes, and they're sort of like pens, and you fill it with water, and then I watercolor like a really inspiring quote, and those I will hang if I think that they're, beautiful. I'll hang them in my space for a while and just sort of be near them and use them to inspire me, Another thing that I absolutely love for drawing more creativity into yourself is to have a tech-free night once a week, or maybe once a month, whatever is accessible to you. I just read something about a family that puts the TV to bed. They cover it with a blanket, give it like a pillow, and they tell the kids like, we're putting the TV to bed, and the kids get really excited. And then that night, the family does anything else. Phones are away, laptops away. And it's a time for you to connect with your partner, call a friend, read a book, play a game. But you can also make it about self-care and about creativity, you know? And one example of this is called artist dates. I don't know if you guys have heard of these, but artist dates are like solo dates with the specific purpose of collecting inspiration for your art. And even if it's just to live your life as art, to collect ideas and to dress in your unique fashion sense and to use color and symbols and create rituals. This is all living your life as art. And so artist dates would be like going to a museum by yourself and always bringing your journal to, maybe you're always drafting a haiku about what you see, or bringing your camera. Of course, everyone's camera is their phone these days, but using your phone intentionally as a camera, going on a nature hike and taking specific nature shots, looking for the inspiration in the art that's all around you, doing some still lifes in your journal at the park, whatever it is. Mine has like been, with the pandemic and staying home, it's been like cooking more time intensive meals. It's been painting with watercolors. I've been so I'm a musician. I've been researching virtual open mics because I really miss performing. But there are virtual open mics, virtual poetry slams. I would even say watching like a very artsy documentary or film could definitely be an artist date. Watching something that you wouldn't normally watch and thinking about inspiration not as entertainment, but, really as educating yourself and filling that inspiration tank, which we have to do. We can't just wonder why we're not creating. Like, it's no wonder we fill every moment with content and entertainment, So there's no space for inspiration. You have to create space for inspiration. If you don't take anything else away from this talk tonight, take that. Carve the space for inspiration and set that table and invite your muses, and they will join you. And be willing to be messy, be willing to be imperfect, be willing to do this for yourself. Give yourself this gift. So, dear ones, what will you bring forth? And when will you begin? Beginning is the hardest part, especially if it's a longer term project, if we're not just talking about a 10-minute journaling practice, although that can be hard as well. But all you have to do is begin. That's all you have to do. Don't worry about the follow through right now. Just begin. And if you don't know where to start, I'm putting together 30 days of creative inspiration. It's a calendar challenge we're going to do together in October, but whenever you want to do it, you can download it at luminousleanings.com. If you sign up for my free mini retreat, Clear and Grounded, on September 26th, I'll be sharing this with everyone who attends the retreat. 30 days of creative self-care. They're prompts. They're really short little prompts, things that you can do that morning just to get the creative juices flowing. I need this. Like, I need accountability. I need structure. And I try to create it around things that matter to me. And creativity really matters to me. And I'd love to hear what you're planning to create. So let me know in the comments. My intention is to write more music. I used to write music a lot. And slowly playing guitar and singing became more about covering songs that I felt more confident sharing and performing. And I stopped writing. And that makes me sad because I love writing music. I love writing songs. And, even if it's writing poetry, like not putting music to it at first, like that's my intention. I'm going to try to do more of that. Maybe I'll start tomorrow. What will you create? So I just wanted to share some tips for activating the second chakra, this womb space. There's some things specifically we can do. And I think of these as metaphors and symbols and just have fun with it, you know? The second chakra, that womb space, is our relationship to money, to sex, to abundance and creativity. It's the most creative part of you, your sex organs. I mean, think about it. We create all human life in this space. It's amazing. The element is water. That's why we think of it as a bowl. You know, what are you going to hold? What are you going to catch in the bowl of your second chakra? The color is orange. This is my chakra. And there's some scents I mentioned before: jasmine, sandalwood, sweet orange. You can drink tea, you can diffuse oils, you can burn incense, you know, get a candle, whatever helps you sort of activate this in your space can be really helpful. And there are specific crystals and gems like amber, calcite, carnelian, hematite, and so many more. And then in terms of yoga asanas, you can do cobra pose, you can do butterfly, seated butterfly, you know, or you can do torso circles. So if you want to join me, just keeping your legs still and just moving the torso in a circle. It's really simple. You can sort of visualize that pelvic bowl swooshing about, filled with that liquid. Because remember, it's the water element. These are all asanas for you to practice when you need to inspire some creativity. And we will just chant together 3 times the mantra VAM, V-A-M. So each chakra has a seed mantra, one sound, like Om, Om, the vibrational connection of all beings everywhere. You've probably chanted Om before, but have you chanted VAM? It's very relaxing and vibrational. So we're going to just chant this together. You can bring your hands to your second chakra or whatever mudra feels good to you. And just take a deep breath in. One more time. Feeling it resonate in the womb space. And just maybe repeat, I am the creator of my reality. I am the creator of my reality. I am the creator of my reality. Gently blinking the eyes open. I feel that, dear ones. I feel that. We are all powerful creators. We definitely create our own reality, our own experience, our own quality of life in the mind. I'd rather do it awake and consciously and with intention, wouldn't you? Life is so much better when you create your own reality. Catching up on the comments here. Hi, Claire. Micah says, I intend to write more. Something I loved doing as a kid, fell off with as I got older. I recently picked it back up. I mentioned to my current employer I would like to write children's books, and they want to support me in that. So I really want to embrace this opportunity, but I'm feeling really blocked about it. I think part of it is that the idea of creating something and putting it out into the world is intensely vulnerable. Oh, that's definitely it, dear one. It's so vulnerable. I would recommend begin with creating things that no one else will see, or telling yourself no one's going to see this. Really bringing that attitude of fun and play and safety to it, whatever that looks like to you. Maybe it's saying, I'm going to keep this one close to my heart as you sort of sketch and play and maybe meditate on it and do like a manifesting visualization on it. Oh, my Instagram is ending. Sorry. We'll probably lost some people there. Oh, but that's so exciting, Micah. Who knows all the people who your book will touch, or books. I can't wait to see them personally. I love children's books. What a fun space. Thank you for sharing that beautiful intention. We honor it, we hold it. What else will you create, dear ones? I would love to hear. You can keep the comments coming. I love reading them even after the live video wraps up. This will still be available for people to read. And don't forget about Clear and Grounded, my free mini retreat on September 26th. It's a Saturday, and it's from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Time. I'll put the link again in the comments. I really hope to see you there. We're going to play with intuitive movement. We're going to play with some art supplies. We're going to meditate together and just really access this creative, amazing power that we all have, especially when we care for ourselves, especially when we ground down, especially when we clear the channel and trust this sacred inspiration, these ideas that want to come forth because they're here to be the medicine for our world. And what an honor to be the vessel that they choose to be brought forth through. In my own work, it's only been through letting the ego go and realizing this isn't me, this is something bigger than me, that I could ever go live like this, that I could ever call myself a coach, put myself out there. It truly feels like I am a vessel and that I'm just making myself available. And when you do that, it doesn't matter if you crash and burn. It doesn't matter if you make a mistake, because it wasn't yours to begin with. And you recognize that it's a gift for the world, and it's an incredible honor to be the one to bring that forth. And the gratitude that people give you, it just makes you feel so good. So go forth, dear ones, find that thing that wants to be made through you, and bring some creativity, some fun, some play into your self-care this week. Let me know what you do, and I'll see you at Clear and Grounded on September 26th. I'm so excited. All right, that's it for now. All my love to all of you. Thank you for joining, and I'll see you next week. Bye.